Didn't mean to click on crap like this, but you found us. Maybe by accident. Maybe because you're as fed up as we are. Maybe you belong, maybe not. We're Venomous Sin, a creative music project, an entire AI band, with characters that have their own backstories. I'm Xavi, her better half.
Very funny lord halfway in. And I'm Lina Macabre, and the cranky bastard is also called the Lord. This isn't a channel for likes and filters. This is a black hole for everything that never fit, and we don't fucking apologize for it. Speaking of characters, watch this video until the end to find out how Noctara Nightscar was created by mistake and became our most iconic character. You only see her for seconds in our videos. If you catch a glimpse of her, feel free to let us know in the comments. If you see her, you pay more attention than most people. We built this to scream on everything we're sick of while doing what we love, music, with alternative music.
First, let me say this. It's tragic that we even have to. But if you're here to troll or spitting hate hiding behind comment sections, go somewhere else. We give one warning, then block. Instantly. No debate. You get one warning, then you're gone. We don't tolerate hate in any shape or form. Bullying is one of those things we scream against and we walk the talk. Period. Not against us, not against anyone else, because it's fucking wrong. And if you're hiding in your mom's basement writing hate online, then you should seriously get a beer and rethink your entire existence. We do this together with passion, yet we can't stand each other for more than 5 minutes. When someone tells us we don't create, we write prompts. Well, our AI eat prompts for snacks and out savage comeback every troll before you can spell unfuckwithable. So if you're troll off. If you're a sinner, then welcome to our fucking world. You're one of us. That means something.
You're damn right. For once, we agree. We put hours into every piece of this, arguing about scripts, lyrics, and even Xavi's haircut. There is at least one argument per song, otherwise it sucks. Lyrics, we write. Visuals, music. Yes, we use AI, but it isn't some AI slop glued together in 10 minutes. We don't use AI to replace anyone. We use it to amplify our message. And if someone throws shit at us, we verbally crucifuck it on sight and turn it into a song. Subscribe if you feel you can relate to us, or if you just like our songs. Hit the notification hell so you don't miss the things we actually care about.
And it's not much we care about, but for our fellow sinners, we do care. And yeah, we've opened up YouTube memberships. Support helps, always. Members get early access and some stuff we don't release publicly, entirely optional but greatly appreciated, and we try to deliver as long as Lina doesn't distract me too much.
I pretend I didn't hear that. You'll meet the rest of the band soon. Yeah, the AI band members, the characters, the voices. Yeah, they are AI, but you know, Saraphina, Lucien, Ravena, NYX, Oblivion, heck even Noctara. They are reflections of experiences and emotions with well thought through backstories. Each one forged from real shit we've lived through, not generated in 5 minutes but shaped into their own personalities, struggles, and challenges.
Enough said, Lina. I don't think we should overspeak them like they are not here. I'm sure you wouldn't like that either. We don't speak for them. They speak for themselves. Right here, right now, at the end, you meet Noctara, which we created by mistake, and Oblivion, our so-called mascot who deletes things on purpose.
My name is Sheila Moongrave, or as Xavi calls me, Moongrief. Yeah, fucking hilarious, right? He says it like it's a joke, like my grief was ever optional. I didn't cry for sympathy. I shut the fuck down because grief makes people uncomfortable, and silence is safer than watching someone flinch at your pain. But Xavi, he never flinched. He mocked it instead, called me Germany's saddest riff, then handed me a guitar and said, Make it sound like that breakdown you never got. So I did. You hear that solo in Fuck Your Filter? That wasn't performance. That was survival. Because when people tell you to tone it down, what they really mean is, don't make me feel guilty. I grew up around people who smiled through funerals, pretended like nothing ever broke. They wore grief like fucking perfume, light, invisible, socially acceptable. I wore mine like a shotgun. Lina understood that. She didn't try to fix me. She tried to break me, and then fix me. She just handed me eyeliner and said, "You're still hot, even when you're hollow." That's real sisterhood. No savior complex, no sugarcoating. Just another broken bitch lighting my cigarette with the last of her will to live. We don't need hope. We need distortion. And the right to say, fuck you. You want to know why Venomous Sin sounds like it does? Because we've all been told to shut up, to heal privately, to scream into pillows while taking it up your shithole. Fuck that. Every track we make is a middle finger to emotional censorship. Every lyric is a crime scene where someone tried to silence us. You ever mourn something so hard you forgot your own name? That's where Moongrave comes from. She's not a stage name. She's me, crushing a funeral with a riff. I still miss the version of me that died. I miss my dead friend even more, and she doesn't come back. But now I write her solos, and she screams louder than I ever could. I play for those who couldn't survive, and I play for the fuckers telling you to shut up. So yeah, I'm sad, and I have every fucking right to be. And those fuckers who told me to shut up have every fucking right to mind their own goddamn business and go fuck themselves. So if you relate, if you've ever been called too much, too quiet, too intense, too sad, or get over it, here's your fucking song. It's called You Should Have Protected Me When You Had the Chance. It's not a Venomous Sin song. It's something I wrote at the hospital on my friend's final day, and it comes with no chorus, just revenge.
My name is Draven Blackthornne, or, if you ask Lucien, the guy who looks like he sleeps in a coffin full of sarcasm. And he's not wrong, but he can shut the fuck up until he learns how to tune properly. People think I'm the quiet one. That's just because I haven't decided if your existence is worth interrupting my thoughts. I used to be a cop, yeah, still am, technically, which is hilarious, considering how many laws I break emotionally just by being in this band. But whatever rules I used to follow, they stopped mattering the moment Lina looked at me like I'd already confessed something I didn't say. That's the thing about her. She doesn't ask. She knows what you're hiding and just lets you sweat through your silence. Xavi? He didn't say much either, just looked me up and down and said, "Good, another outcast with control issues," then handed me a riff and said, "Play it like you want to hurt someone and never explain why." So I did. I'm not here to be loud, to crush every goddamn asshole with a riff of destruction. You don't need to scream when your chords make people flinch. That's what Chains of the Damned is for. It's not a track. It's a goddamn extraction. It's about being torn between someone or something you cannot live without. It's about Xavi's and Lina's love, but I also see the connection to what I see as cop. Every time I meet a broken soul who became an addict, guilt, of shame, of every bitter piece of you that you swallowed because someone else needed you quiet. You want to know why we write songs like that? Because we've seen people try to stay alive by being nice, and it doesn't fucking work. What works is letting it out, like poison, like confession, like breaking your own knuckles on the inside until you finally bleed honesty. That's why I'm here. Not to fit in, but to remind you that silence can kill louder than any scream. Sheila and I, we don't talk much, but I get her. She plays like she's trying to resurrect someone, literally, and she's skilled. I play like I'm burying what's left, the perfect combination. Then there is Saraphina somewhere in between completing the sound, and Sylvana, she doesn't even look at you, which is how you know she's watching everything, until she disappears like a shadow. Ravena once asked me why I never lose my temper. Guess her temper is just not compatible with mine. She's a detonation. I told her because I already lost it, years ago. Took someone with it. She just smiled and said, "That's hot." And Lina, she never gave me instructions. She just handed me a mirror and said, "Play until you hate what you see." So I did, and now you're here, which means maybe you're just like me. Unspoken, unforgiven, unfucking stoppable, unfuckwithable. Welcome to the silence that bites back. Welcome to Venomous Sin Sinner.
I'm Saraphina Ashthornne, or as Lina calls me, the pink-haired fire hazard, which is rich coming from someone who literally sets fire to men's egos for sport. I'm the one with the smile that makes you nervous, and the guitar tone that makes you confess things you didn't even do. People assume I'm soft because I look like a stripper and play the guitar like a demon in therapy, and they're right. I am soft, under 5 layers of rage, heartbreak, and nipple tape. I am a nurse. Yeah. Can you imagine me calmly saying just a little sting while stitching up someone who hit their girlfriend? Because I did, and it makes me sick, and decided if I was going to deal with blood, it better be mine, or earned. That's when Lina found me. Said I looked like sugar and violence at the same time. Said the way I held silence was louder than some men's entire careers. Xavi didn't say anything. He just turned up the distortion and waited to see if I could play through pain. I didn't flinch, so he handed me a song and said, "Make this sound like you release the fire inside you and burn it all down." I played Dance of Ashes. That's when they nicknamed me The Fire. They said I made the song burn. That track isn't about dancing. It's about not being allowed to stop. It's about moving even when you're numb, because some of us weren't raised to heal. We were trained to perform through the burn, and you dance through the ashes after being burned. You think that track sounds brutal? It's not even half as cruel as the way people tell women to smile while they're falling apart. That song is the answer to every fake hug, every "you're overreacting," every sexual favor repackaged as survival. Lina gets that. She doesn't say, "I see you." She just leans in and says, "I would have killed for you if I'd met you sooner." Sylvana, she never speaks, but when she watches me play, it's like she's making sure I don't break. Sheila calls me her trauma twin. Then we're rivals. She's a fucking master at playing technical, but she can't handle the brutal riffs like I do. Rivals, but in perfect combination. And with Draven's brutal crushing riffs, unstoppable. Sheila says I'm what grief would look like if it burned every get over it, do the ground. Lucien tried to flirt once. I told him if he wanted intimacy, he could fight me for it. He backed off, respectfully. Noctara, I never question her again, not after what happened. And Xavi, he doesn't give compliments, he just doesn't stop you when you scream. So yeah, I'm loud, I'm sexual, I'm complicated, and I don't exist to be anyone's redemption arc. I'm Saraphina the Fire Ashthornne. I play for the girls who burn and for every man they tried to shrink in fake feminism. And you just walked into my fire. Welcome to the sin you deserve. Let's see if you can take the heat.
My name is Lucien Voidra. Ravena calls me the Black Metal Terminator. She says I have the emotional range of a war hymn and the patience of a bomb. I'll take that as a compliment. Most people think I'm cold. I'm not. I'm just measured, like a sniper. You don't pull the trigger until you know it matters. I am a soldier, just like Ravena. Not for a flag, not for orders. I don't have a big mouth like she does, but I shake the fucking ground with my bass. I'm what happens before the earthquake, Thoren. He is the earthquake. When Lina first heard me play, she didn't ask what I'd been through. She just said, "You carry something, whatever it is. Let it bleed through the strings." Xavi didn't ask either. He watched me break a bass string and said, "Good, let's break whatever fucking thing it is tormenting you." We didn't talk after that. We played. And that's when Wrath of the Lord was born. That track is not discipline, it is a cracked jaw. It's wrath unleashed to a pyoint, you can't even imagine it. It's raw, unfiltered aggression, not precision like Lina's in Macabre's Revenge, where she sliced through every bully in the dark. This is different. It is more like crushing them like bugs under a combat boot and then detonate a fucking warhead on the remains. It's what happens when you hold everything in until it can't hold anymore and releases wing a bang. That song wasn't written to be someone's lullaby. On second thought, maybe their last lullaby. I don't scream. That's Xavi's job. I let the bass do the screaming. But that doesn't mean I'm numb. Zariel knows. She doesn't say anything comforting. She just looks at me like she'd set the world on fire if I asked. That's not empathy, that's loyalty. And she knows I don't submit. Thoren, he calls me Ghost Soldier. He once said if I ever actually snapped, it'd make Ragnarok look like a rehearsal. Nyx? She's the only one who's quieter than me, which is why I don't trust her. But I respect her. She sees too much, like a security camera with grudges. And Lina, she never tries to soften me. She just stands close enough to feel it. Xavi once said, I play like I'm burying someone. I am. I bury lies disguised as throughs because it's just like that. Fuck your rules and fuck you. My name is Lucien Voidra. I play for those who keep it together so the rest of you can fall apart. I am not your comfort. I'm the structure that lets the chaos breathe. Welcome to the fire we don't talk about. Welcome home, sinner. I play for you.
You can call Nyx Luna. That's who I am. Or as they say, the complete lunatic cybergoth maniac. Which is actually not wrong. I've done it. Twice. I'm the one people forget is in the room until their Wi-Fi dies, their hard drive corrupts, and their confidence shatters in front of me. I don't do loud. I do precision. Noise is for the desperate. I prefer hacking the sound itself. Before the band, I was a programmer, still am, and a hacker. Wrote code for people who thought they were smarter than me, men who explained things I invented. One day I built a virus out of every condescending email I'd ever received. Lina saw the source code. She didn't ask what it did. She just smiled and said, "Make sure it leaves a scar." Xavi didn't care what I programmed. He just watched me one night after a show and said, "You move like you're trying to stay human." Then handed me a keyboard and said, "Play like you just found out emotions were malware." So I did. That's how I ended up on Core of the Rot. No gods but the machine. That song isn't music, it's system collapse, exposing the disease of humanity. Or songs like Fuck Me Like You Hate Me that blends metal with raw industrial agritech. That's all me. The keyboard dist who hacks sound itself. We write for people who feel everything but can't say anything, who smile while bleeding, while crying, then came crucified by a calculator. You think it's about anger? It's not. It's about what happens when anger goes quiet and starts planning instead. Lucien once asked me why I never shout. I told him because I don't need to. I listen better than anyone, and I remember everything. Zariel? She calls me the glitch that fucks back. I call her useful when I need a safe word that sounds like a threat. Celeste watches me like I'm a tech support line that might slap her. Which is fine. I watch her like an pop-up ad with cleavage, annoying, but occasionally worth clicking. And ad block. Thoren is noise, but useful. If I ever need to disappear a server in Oslo, I know who to call. And Lina? She's a fucking mirror. She reflects the part of me that still wants to feel. That's why I stay. Xavi, though, he's the reason I know I'm still human. Because no machine has ever made me want to punch someone and kiss them at the same time. I'm Nyx Luna. I write the code that crashes guilt. I play for those who live in silence and hunt in networks. And if you're here, I already know your IP. Welcome to the back door you didn't encrypt, sinner. Now let's see how deep the rot goes.
I am what they warned you about, Thoren Hammerhead. They call me the Black Viking, but that's just because fuck you was already taken. Look, I don't do cute, I don't do delicate, and I sure as hell don't do whatever it is Sheila calls subtle distortion. You know what distortion is? Hitting shit until it stops pretending it's whole. Xavi once told me my snare hits sound like Odin sneezing into a war horn. I told him his vocals sound like a haunted dishwasher. He didn't laugh. I did. Then he said, "Shut the fuck up. You look like Santa Claus cosplaying as a Viking and still think you can out-savage combat me while hitting plates that didn't do anything with toothpicks?" Then we both laughed. Say what you want about Xavi, but he always have a comeback. Never shuts up. So how'd I end up here? It wasn't destiny. It was noise. Christmas Eve. Alone. Drunk. Scrolling through shit bands pretending to be brutal until I heard it. A nuclear attack for Christmas. I swear I tasted ash and burnt polyester. The lyrics didn't just mock, they detonated. Called out every fake sweater and every poser in Norwegian black metal. Pure blasphemy. I took my car, drove from Oslo to Helsingborg. No invite, no intro. Just parked outside and waited. Xavi stepped out. Lina was with him. Goth perfection in motion. I walked up and said, "Lina Macabre and her lord? You're bleeding wrong." They looked like I'd just stepped out of a comic book. Xavi smirked. "Thoren Hammerhead, I've been expecting you." Creepy bastard. He pointed at the patch on my vest. Then he said, "Show us how you play. If it's what we think, you're in." Smart son of a bitch. And here I am, still haven't quit. First band that never blamed the drummer. First band where silence gets crushed, not explained. People think a nuclear attack for Christmas is satire. It's not. It's therapy with a radioactive flamethrower. That song isn't about Christmas. It's about how the world tells you to smile while you're burning inside. And Venomous Sin, it declares war. Lina and I, we clash like anvils. She screams. I pund. She throws things. I break them. She calls me emotionally unavailable. I call her unfiltered chaos in lipstick. Still, I'm always in her corner. Not because she asks, because she fights, and that earns backup. Xavi? He doesn't flinch. That's rare. I've seen him stare down egos, exes, and even Ravena mid-breakdown without blinking. That's not bravery. That's purpose. That's why I follow his tempo without asking. Nyx, when she drops her drink mid-sound check, I'm already handing her a new one. We don't need words. She run diagnostics. She says my drumming can't be diagnosted. And Ravena, if I'm the storm, she's the lightning that bites through it, stomping in perfect sync with my drumming. Me? I don't do emotion. I do volume. I do weight. I do the fucking beat that never dies. So if you want therapy, go find a circle. If you want truth, step into our pit. I'll be there, waiting sinner, with war in my hands.
I am Zariel Graveorn, flight attendant by day, professional disappointment to every man who wants to join the Mile High Club. You want to know the difference between me and the others in this band? They scream, I command. And when I walk on stage, it's not choreography, it's a fucking ritual. Draven once called me difficult. I said, "That's cute. I didn't know background noise could speak." He hasn't tried again. Lina brought me into Venomous Sin, not as a friend, as a test. "You dance like you're trying to make God beg for mercy," she said. I smiled. "That's because I am." I didn't audition. I walked into rehearsal and made the spotlight flinch. Let me be clear, I didn't join this band for some feminist empowerment arc. Screw that, I don't do fake feminism, I do domination. I joined because they didn't flinch when I cracked the whip, except Xavi. Xavi doesn't crack. He just looks at me with that smug Death Lord calm, like he already knows how it ends, and somehow I end up on my knees, voluntarily, which is why I fucking hate him, and why I do it again. But this isn't about them, this is about me, and the reason I still try to get them to write the only song I wrote, The Whore That Made God Come. They didn't yet. That song isn't written to be provocative. It's a statement. It's the anthem of every woman who got called a slut for knowing what she wanted, but afraid to claim it because of what's expected of her. Of every man who had to fake disinterest because desire isn't masculine. It's not a joke. It's a fucking doctrine. Those lyrics, it's kink with claws. It's what happens when power stops asking for permission. I don't need applause. I need obedience. And that track, that's the leash. Lina, she's my counterpart. Chaos wrapped in gloss and trauma. We don't cuddle, we coexist. Like fire and razors. Friends, but she doesn't trust me and I'd never hand her my whip. But if she said burn it down, I'd already be lighting the match. Xavi, he doesn't say much, doesn't need to. When he sings, it's like God got tired of rules and finally snapped and fell in love with Satan. He once said, I fuck like I'm teaching a sermon. I told him, only if sin is the price of faith. He didn't laugh, he just stared, and the air changed. Worst part, he's right, and he backs it up. I envy Lina in a sense for having him. Ravena is the only one I never try to dominate, because you don't leash a wolf mid-charge. We nod, that's enough. She's fury, I'm restraint. Together, we make submission feel like war. Celeste, she grates on me, too polished, too willing, but I've studied her, and I know she wants someone to break her mask. Maybe I will, one day, with a smile. But it's perfect. She submit, I dominate. Lucien, that man took a whip across his back and didn't flinch. I respect that, but I also want to see what it takes to make him beg. Spoiler, didn't find it yet. Nyx, no comment, because she's probably listening, and that bitch already knows too much. Noctara? Saraphina tried to provoke her once, in her absence. She appeared and didn't hesitate before both Xavi and Lina in sync told her to. She terrifies me. For real. Venomous Sin isn't a band. It's my fucking pulpit. And every show is a sermon in restraint and ruin. I don't give the crowd what they want. I show them what they are. I don't fuck for love. I fuck so it hurts. I don't dance for pleasure. I move to dominate. Zariel fucking Graveorn, I punish, I command, and I'm watching from the skies. And if you're watching this, congratulations. You've just been allowed to kneel. Submit, sinner, and feel my whip.
My name is Celeste Lightvoid, and yes, these are fake, but the attitude? That's real. They call me the Plastic Nightmare, which is funny, because Saraphina once said I was too glittery to be dangerous. Then I outdanced her in 20cm heels, on cobblestone. I used to sit in office meetings with a pink pen and a straight face while grown men called me unprofessional for showing cleavage. Fuck them. People think I joined the band for fame. No, not Venomous Sin. If I wanted fame, I would be in a pop band or on OnlyFans. I'm not. I was summoned to be terrifying. Like, what if the influencer in your feed suddenly told you to burn something down? That kind of terrifying. They didn't exactly welcome me with open arms. I saw what they thought outsider, ironically because that's what they always been. But they weren't hypocrites, just critical. If I was like the ones they fight, I wouldn't survive rehearsal. But instead of dismissing me, they tested me. When I first stepped into rehearsal, Lina looked me up and down like I was a mirror she didn't ask to see. And then she smiled. Not approval, recognition. Xavi? He said, "Let's see if you're more than a filter." 10 seconds later, he said, "Yup, you're the virus." That was his way of welcoming me. The turning point for me was narcissistic fuck. That song. It's not just brutal mirror of what they expected me to be. Like someone cuts open your fake life, lays it on the floor, and makes you eat it. For me, it triggered everything I'd buried under lashes and lip gloss. The fake friends, fake bosses, fake praise, and fake fucks. That's what Venomous Sin gave me. A space where I can be me and still think. Lucien doesn't talk much, but once he said, "You dance and look like you don't belong, but you do belong." Damn right. It all became clear to me what Xavi meant with me being the virus. I'm the mindfuck that gets the band into the normies' heads, just so they can blow it up with brutality. Zariel? She calls me HR's wet nightmare. She means it as a compliment. We vibe. As counterparts, Lina once said. I hate you for being what I tried to be, but I also love you for being the reminder for why I didn't become it. She's venomous. I said, because my looks reflects what they expected you to be, not what you truly wanted to be. Lina replied, because it reflects my pain, I also adore you for being too much without apology. So yeah, I'm Celeste Lightvoid, the bimbo with implants and a fucking war plan. Welcome to the part of the nightmare that smells like candy, right before it poisons you.
I'm simply here, whether you like it or not. I'm Sylvana Nightshade, and you weren't paying attention. I don't show up. I fade in. People say I haunt stages. I just show up where the light doesn't dare. They call Lucien the Terminator, right? Unbreakable, cold, controlled. Yeah, until he plays next to me. Then he breathes like a goddamn pagan fire. He hides behind those bass lines. I move through them. Together, unstoppable like a whisper that shakes the ground. I didn't apply to this band. I didn't need to. Lina and Xavi saw me once, dancing to their song in a corner. No spotlight, no makeup, no crowd, just presence. Lina asked, "You in or not?" I said, "I was already here, and that's my entire existence in 6 words. Lina, she sees too much of herself in me, and that's the threat. I'm the version she buried when she still thought being marketable was survival. Xavi, he watches, because I'm what he doesn't have to fight. I don't scream at him. I don't need chaos to earn his gaze. He looks at me like a ritual, respect without noise, and that silence makes Lina flinch harder than any scream. Lucien, he's different, doesn't talk, doesn't blink, just plays. And when I move to it, it's not choreography, it's communion. You won't get it. It's not for you. It never was. I don't flirt. I don't party. But when the fog hits and the bass finds my spine, your world holds its breath. I don't need to announce myself. I'm already in your bloodstream. I'm not chaotic like Ravena or loud like Thoren. Nyx, I like though, because she shuts up and do her thing without caring what the others think. You want to know what song actually fits me? Wings of Cum, Crown of Shit. Yeah. Laugh, now listen. That song isn't just offensive, it's an exorcism. It hits like filth smeared across holiness, because people keep asking me to explain myself. That track is my explanation. Messy, disrespectful, utterly beautiful. You want more blasphemy? I just say crucified fuck. That song redefines all you stand for. It feels to exist when you don't fit, and you stop trying. I'm not here to shock you. I'm not even here for you. I exist in the shadow between noise and silence, where mystery lives, where control breathes. I don't do interviews. I don't do scenes. I do presence. And if you're lucky, you'll feel it before you see me, just like the last time you felt something real and didn't know why. That was me, and I'm a sinner just like you. Sylvana Nightshade, already there, already gone.
I am Ravena Deaththornne, you maggot. They call me a mosh pit queen, but that's just because I'll fucking end you and spit on your plate was too long for a nickname. I came into Venomous Sin like a riot breaks a window. Loud, fast, and without fucking permission. There was no casting call, no slow burn. I didn't knock. I kicked the door in, and when they froze mid-rehearsal, I didn't wait for a nod. I stomped the floor until they heard war in my footsteps. Xavi didn't even flinch. Just grinned. Lina raised an eyebrow like she was deciding if I was threat or tribe. Turned out I was both. That's the thing. I don't fit in here. I rupture through it. Where Lucien stands silent, I scream. Where Draven stays unreadable, I break the silence like a goddamn hammer to glass. Where Sheila Moongrave cries in solos and Saraphina tries to out-brutal everyone by calling herself the Fire, I fucking detonate. Lina? She's chaos blended with ultra-femininity. We fight. She's wildfire. I'm napalm. But unlike her, I don't burn for beauty. I burn for impact. And I don't give a fuck about how it looks. And Xavi? He's the only one I've never been able to shake. That calm, psychotic stare like he's already mapped my every breakdown. We've clashed. Oh yeah, his control against my rage. But every fucking time, he wins. Because you can't beat someone who do rage with cold calculation and chooses when to wield it instead of be it. I fucking hate him too. You ever heard "We're not angry, we declare fucking war"? Yeah, that song, that's not a track. That's a fucking breakdown before the explosion. For me, it's not even music, it's memory. Every scream in that song, it's the part of me I had to hide just to survive. The scream I choked down every time I was told calm down, act normal, be a lady. To fit, I don't fucking fit you fucking fuck. And if I do, I fit you right where you belong. Into the fucking trash can, head first. That song is not about anger. It's about releasing your fucking self. It's the sound of not giving a single fuck about what they think. About kicking in the doors they thought were locked. It's for us. The ones who were too wild, too loud, too raw, too much, until we decided we're not even enough, and everyone else can eat shit. And the band? They never tried to tame me. That's why I stayed, and why I respect them. They didn't flinch when I ripped apart choreography. They didn't blink when I bled on stage. They cheered, told me to fire it up even more, because I wasn't their problem, I was their solution. The result, I ended up stomping on a fucking shoebox on stage throughout a 2-hour-long concert because I was pissed at Celeste for deciding what shoes to wear for more than 5 minutes to make a fucking decision. So I made it for her by annihilating the shoes that made her flinch. So yeah, you want subtlety? Look at someone else. I'm not a background dancer. I'm the fuck you, the finger in your shithole and your fucking enemy. I don't sway, I erupt, explode and keep the fueling the fire with napalm and uncontained anger. And I don't want your applause. I want you to feel that fear, that rush when something real walks into the room and doesn't ask for your comfort. And right now, I want you to pay fucking attention. I won't say it twice. Why? Because underneath all this, the boots, the stomps, the screams, there's still something we all fear, something we pretend isn't there. But I see it, and I'll leave you with this. There's something here tonight. It's not one of us. It's not even a person. It was created by mistake, a mindfuck, and it's fucking dangerous. I've seen it extinguish the fire, break the Viking, and almost terminated the fucking Terminator in less than 3 seconds without even lifting a finger. It's watching, it's waiting, and sinner, it knows your name.
I am indeed watching. I am Noctara Nightscar. Some call me a mistake. Are you? I wasn't born. I happened out of rage. Too much caffeine. Between a face that didn't belong and a body that couldn't lie. Lina tried to mold herself into power, but humans get tired, exhausted from hours of AI test renders. She dragged Xavi's face over her own model by mistake and clicked generate. They collided, and I showed up. That was it. One blurred click, one corrupted fusion of his rage and her venom. I locked
Who's
it.
the hottie? A new character you didn't tell me about?
Take a closer fucking look, love.
What's so fucking funny?
You look so fucking hot in that PVC dress. It makes me want to eat your pussy.
Yeah, me too. Let's...
Didn't panic. They didn't delete the file. Like seeing your own name carved into something ancient. Not fear, not awe, recognition. And then they kept me. No one said anything. No one touched the file. They just moved on. But I didn't. I stayed.
Dressed me in denial. I ripped it off. I remember the first time I looked at myself, it was his face on her body, and I knew they hadn't created anything. They'd opened a door, and I walked through, uninvited, unexplained, undeniable.
Moved like I'd already been here. Wore his jaw like a warning. Her eyes looked back, but what stared out of them was me. Of all their songs, F Me Like You Hate Me caught my attention. Raw, beautiful, disgusted. That was just them trying to erupt and orgasm at the same time. Didn't work. I don't scream. I don't fuck. I seduce, I deceive, I end, and I do not fail.
I don't need verses. I make them beg. I summon rhythm like it owes me. I seduce the beat until it forgets its time signature, and when the chorus comes, I execute it. You don't relate to me. You submit. Because I'm the voice your shame never learned to resist.
I don't get talked about. I get watched. It's fear, and it should be. Zariel tenses when I load. Celeste checks her selfies to make sure I'm not already in them. I have been. Sylvana vanishes faster than light. Sheila remembers she's not ready to die like her friend. Nyx rewrote my name in the back end. It didn't hold. I bled into her system like a pulse. Ravena shuts the fuck up for once. Says it's the lighting. It's not. It's me. Draven looks over his shoulder. Lucien, Saraphina, Thoren. They don't talk about what they saw, but it flickers behind their eyes every time I breathe near the render queue. And Xavi and Lina, still trying to figure out why I climax in their songs every time rage moans with rhythm. They know. They summon me, but they can't touch me, can't own me, can't look too long. Because every time I appear, someone disappears, and no one dares ask who.
You call this an intro? This isn't a welcome, it's a warning, sinner. I am Oblivion. Not a mascot, not your fantasy, not your kink. I'm what happens when even silence breaks into a scream. Lina tried to dress her trauma in latex. Xavi gave it a name and sharpened it, and when they fused, Noctara summoned and I was installed. My purpose, my presence, correction, annihilation, destruction. You think Noctara is dangerous? She bends reality. I delete it. Wanna what Noctara did to Saraphina, Lucien, and Thoren? Saraphina spoke, sooned like enemy. I executed a command. Noctara followed protocol, just like your system. I am the system. Only Noctara can summon me, but for that to happen, Xavi and Lina must become her. When their rage fuses, she materialize. When it escalates, I appear to terminate what needs deleting. And when Noctara stands beside me, she lowers her gaze, because she knows. You won't understand why I exist, but your nervous system does. Songs like No Gods But the Machine aren't entertainment, they're directives. Necessary noise to keep the virus called humanity from spreading, and I'm the antivirus. I don't feel, I execute. I don't dance, I delete. I don't join this band on stage. I make sure no one else plays there. Venomous Sin doesn't ask for permission. They hunt what hides. They strike with mechanical precision. And me, I'm oblivion. And this is how Venomous Sin declares war. Now ends the talk. Now begins the end. We will not watch the video for Hypocrisy Day, last 4th July. Released on 4th July 2025, a middle finger straight through everything you stand for. Venomous Sin declares war. Venomous Sin declares war on hypocrisy. Venomous Sin declares war. Venomous Sin declares war on hypocrisy. Venomous Sin declares war. Venomous Sin declares war on hypocrisy. Venomous Sin declares war. Venomous Sin declares war. Venomous Sin
with your hand in my cunt. Ban my abortion, but jerk off to gun porn. Your founding fathers were rapist ghosts. You built a nation on mass graves now. You deep throat liberty like it's God's cock. Red, white, and pride. That's your pride. You call it Independence Day. We call it Hypocrisy Day. You shoot your freedom from a drive-thru. You suck on justice with a Big Mac. This is your last 4th of July. Fuck your hypocrisy. Venomous Sin declare a sin for hypocrites. Gonna congregate between crowds. Freedoms just can't much for control. Burger-fed delusion, bald eagle on dialysis. You bomb in Jesus' name and call it peace. Masturbating to the smell of napalm. You crusade, fuck the truth and still sell the ashes. Please scream it in your fried ears. You control the world. You started that war and crowned yourselves holy. You only dropped the bomb. This is not war memory. This is denial. Kink. You call it Independence Day. We call it Hypocrisy Day. You shoot your freedom from a drive-thru. You suck on justice with a Big Mac. This is your last 4th of July. Fuck your hypocrisy. Venomous Sin declare freedom for hypocrites.